You know, one of the things that I love about a hosta is that you can get dozens of hostas from just one hosta plant. You know, I've got one here that I'm going to be transplanting, and take a look at it. See all of this burnt foliage on it? Well, this is what happens when you put a hosta in the sun. So that's why we've dug this one up. We're going to divide it out, and it's going to go into the new shade garden. So if you've got hostas around your house and you're wondering what the heck's happening to them, it's too much sunshine. Okay, find a nice little shady spot, dig them up, and do just like I'm going to show you how to do right now. Okay, the thing that you need for this is you need to have a pair of nippers so you can remove the foliage from it. And I'm just going to go in here and cut off the foliage and leave it about 2 inches long. All right, now if I were doing this, and you can divide this out in the springtime, if you're doing that, you would not cut the foliage off like I'm doing here. But because it's the fall time, the foliage is going to be dying off now anyway. I'm going to cut it off so the plant doesn't have to support it during the time it's kind of going through a little bit of a shock, and I won't have to try to work around all the foliage. All right, the fall is the best time, though, to transplant any of your perennials. You know, think of them this way. Put them where they can sleep all winter, so when they wake up in the spring, they're in their new home. Isn't that cute? I love that. Okay, so I've got it trimmed off here, and get a little bit more foliage out of your way so you can see what I'm doing here. You know, I started out with about 2 hosta plants at my house when I used to live in Michigan, and I started dividing them out and putting them around my property, and then before you know it, I was giving it to my dad, and my dad was putting it on his property, and then my friends, they just go crazy, and I love them. But no, you don't ever have to divide them. You can keep them in one big clump, but if you're like me, I like to share my plants. Okay, so now we're down to this section, and we have a big clump of dirt here to deal with. I'm going to take a kitchen knife, and you want to use a really sharp knife, because we're going to come in here and put this down and just start cutting away. Hear that? Sounds kind of a little unnerving, but we're just cutting through the roots. And I'm going to kind of, you can almost tell where this sort of self-separating itself. See where this little clump is here and that clump? That's what I'm going to just follow right along that line. Put my knife down in there and cut. Pull it back like that. Just like cutting a birthday cake. Look at that slice right there. See that? See all of the roots that we have here? This is all we need to sustain this plant. Try to leave the dirt intact. Don't try to clear it off the roots. Don't make it get like super shocked. Leave it like this. These little roots right here need to stay close to the top of the ground. And so when you find the place that you want to place it, dig a nice deep hole about 2 inches bigger than this piece that you have. Put a little bit of good soil in the bottom of it and work it in. Maybe a little bit of fertilizer. Plant it down in there, and then pull the dirt back to it and pack it lightly down around it. Don't make the mistake a lot of gardeners make. Don't pile the dirt up past the neck of your plant. Always retransplant, or always transplant your plants and keep the dirt at the same level it was when you dug it out of the ground. Okay? My dirt has to stop right here. That's all I have to do. And then because we're going into the fall, and especially if you're in the northern climates like my dad in Michigan, you're going to want to mulch it in really nice with some old leaves or pine mulch or something around it. So that is all it takes to divide out a hosta. If you look at this big beautiful clump I have right here, you can tell that I can make one here, another clump here. I can get about 6 clumps out of this one plant. You know what? I'm going to fill up my shade garden really quick, and I might even have one to share with a friend.